You're listening to The Monetized Mom, the podcast that teaches moms of faith how to monetize their expertise online to create influence, impact, income, and more importantly, financial independence. I'm your host, Flo Alexander. Let's chat. Hey, Money Mamas. Welcome to the Monetized Mom podcast. I'm your host, Flo Alexander, and in this week's episode, we're going to be talking about how to discover your expertise. So if you're interested in learning how to do this, stay tuned. Now, before I get started, I want to share a free resource with you. The Monetized Mom Master Playbook is my 4-part framework for turning your expertise into a profitable online business. And yes, you heard right, it's free. You can grab it now at themonetizedmom.com/freebie. Again, that's themonetizedmom.com/freebie. Now let's get on with this episode. All right, guys. So in this episode, I'm going to be talking about how to discover your expertise. And obviously, I talk about monetizing your expertise a lot on this podcast. That is the premise of this podcast and is honestly what I and thousands of other people have done so that we are able to make a full-time income online and from home. Now, the one thing I have noticed is a lot of people tend to get hung up on actually figuring out what their expertise is. Many people cannot readily recognize what their expertise is, what their skill is in order to even monetize it. So I wanted to dedicate this episode to helping you figure that out. We all have something that we know and have mastered that we can share with others. It's just a matter of doing a few things to kind of figure out what it is and jogging your brain and your mind to figure out what exactly it is for you. All right. So there's actually this book that I really love, and I would definitely recommend you guys read it. I'll leave a link for it in the show notes. But it's a book called The Outlier, and it defines an expert as someone who has done something for at least 10,000 hours. So whether or not you know it, you probably have already done something, you've mastered something, and you've spent over 10,000 hours doing it, whether it was in your career, on your job, or something in your personal life. So that's the thing that we're going to try to figure out. What is the one thing that you've spent 10,000 hours on, something that you've mastered that you have the ability to share with others? Okay. So the first thing is, I want you to write down a list of things that you're good at, and don't think too hard about it. I want you to just quickly write down maybe 5 or so things that you are just absolutely good at. And these can be both tangible and intangible things. Tangible mean like skills, physical skills that you can do, things that you can do with your hand, that type of stuff, or maybe even like singing. And then intangible things like sales or persuasion, those things. I want you to write those things down really quickly. And I want you to be honest with yourself. Now, if you cannot sing, do not write singing on there. Some of y'all are tone deaf and you think you can sing, but you can't. But absolutely write down those things that you know without a shadow of a doubt that you're good at. So quickly jot those down. And I'll even give you guys an example for me. So if I were doing this activity, which I did, I would say I'm good at writing, speaking, I'm good at money or managing money. I'm good with systems and processes, and I'm good with planning. I'm very detailed. So those would be 5 things that I would write down. So I want you to take a minute to write down 5 or so things that you are absolutely good at. Now, once you've done that, I want you to think about, of these things, where have you been able to make the most impact or transformation? Where have you been able to make the most impact or transformation? So again, I'll give you guys an example for me. So for instance, writing and money skills have allowed me to write 2 books, one of which has helped thousands of women become better with money. So that is an impact that I have been able to make with the skill or the things that I am good at. I've coupled writing with being good at money, and I've been able to make a transformation in people's lives and have an impact across thousands of different people. So I want you to think about it. Where have you made the most impact or transformation with those things that you've jotted down as being things that you're good at? And then I think about in the workplace, when it comes to creating systems and processes and being very detailed, I have documented instances where I've saved companies hundreds of thousands of dollars by making them more efficient with their processes and systems. So again, it doesn't have to be something in your personal life. It can be in your career where you've made an impact. But what documented or real impact or transformation have you made with the skills or with the things that you have listed? So the second thing that I want you to kind of take inventory on are the things that people come to you for advice on or for help with. What are those things that people already come to you for? And in this case, this is where other people are beginning to recognize things in you that you may not even recognize in yourself. Now, if you can't immediately think of what these things are, I want you to text maybe 3 to 5 of your closest friends and family members, and I want you to ask them, what is one thing that you're good at? 1 or 2 things that you're good at. And these need to be people who really know you, like not just people who know you on your job or people who don't know how you are professionally. It needs to be people who know you as the complete person that you are. And I want you to ask them, what are the things that you are good at? And then from there, I want you to deduce what the consensus is. Is there a consensus? And if there is, that's probably the thing that you are an expert at. That's the thing that you're good at. That's the thing that people come to you for or have recognized you for. So take a minute and jot down those things that people come to you for. If you cannot think of anything, I want you to reach out to those people who are closest to you, who know you as a whole person. And I want you to ask them, hey, what is it that I am good at? What is a skill or talent that you think that I am absolutely good at? And I want you to recognize what that consensus is. And that is likely the thing that you are an expert at. Lastly, I want you to think about something that you've overcome. So maybe this was a weight issue. So you've had a dramatic weight loss. Maybe it was a medical condition that you may have healed yourself from. Or maybe it was something like passing the bar if you're like an attorney or something like that. Overcoming something doesn't necessarily equate to you being an expert at it. However, it can make you a teacher. So if you've overcome something or accomplished something, chances are there is someone who wants to know how you did it so that they can do the same thing. So when I paid off my student loans, it didn't necessarily make me an expert at student loans. Instead, it made me a teacher. I used what I learned in my process to share with others who were embarking on that same journey. So I never said that I was a student loan expert. Instead, I viewed myself as a teacher, someone who can then go back and say, hey, this is what I did step by step. This is what you can do step by step in your situation in order to get the same results that I have. So again, overcoming something doesn't necessarily make you an expert at that. However, it does allow you to become a teacher to someone else who's on that journey, who's not as far as along as you are. So think about it. What are those things that you have overcome that you can teach others to conquer? Okay, so hopefully you've taken the time to go through those exercises and you've kind of come up with something that is your area of expertise, or at least something that you can teach, something that you have overcome or have conquered that you can teach others how to do the same. And now that you know what it is, I want you to start focusing on how you can leverage that knowledge to help other people. Is it providing a service? Is it developing a product? How can you package that knowledge, that skill, that expertise to then help others? I will give you a hint. Keep listening to this podcast and you will get tons of ideas on how you can package that into something that can be beneficial to you and the people that you are called to serve. Okay. So now I want to hear from you. I want you to send me a message on Instagram at The Monetized Mom. And I want you to let me know what your expertise is and how you plan to use it. How do you plan to make an impact with the thing that you've overcome or the thing that you've mastered with your 10,000 hours? Okay. Send me a message at The Monetized Mom and let me know. As always, if you found this episode helpful, don't forget to subscribe, share, and leave a review. And with that, I will talk to you in the next episode.